before the vows, came the voices. Voices from family, culture, sermons, and tradition. Telling them what love should look like, who they should be, and what they must endure, all in the name of expectation. But what happens when the echoes get louder than their own hearts? This is the journey through the unspoken rules, the quiet guilt, the emotional weight of duty over truth, and the silent war between self and sacrifice. In this episode, Tom fights a battle with no name. His wounds are invisible, yet they bleed into every corner of his life. A kind word from his wife has become a memory. Her controlling grip, her sharp words, her manipulation, he calls it love, but love shouldn't feel like this. Two homes. Two people. Same silence. Same echoes of expectations or more. This is the episode where silence begins to speak. And once the mirror cracks, nothing remains the same. Episode 4. Echoes of Expectation Part 2.
Tom gently folding the pile of clothes on the couch after the weekend laundry. Stacy, his wife of 7 years, emerged from the bedroom dressed impeccably in a navy blue pantsuit. Her makeup was flawless, her expression cold. "You're still here?" she snapped. "Didn't I tell you to call the plumber? The kitchen tap is still leaking like a busted pipe." Tom started to rise. "I was going to—" She cut him off with a scoff. "Always excuses. Always wanting, always waiting. You're the slowest man I've ever met, Tom. Do you know how exhausting it is to be married to someone with no urgency?" He swallowed hard, the familiar weight pressing on his chest. This wasn't new. Stacy's words had long lost the sting of surprise, but not the pain. Sometimes it was about little things, like forgetting to refill the gas cylinder, leaving socks near the bed, or misplacing her hair bonnet. Other times, it was much deeper. "Sometimes I wonder if I married beneath me," she said once, tossing a throw pillow aside. "Look at Betty's husband. Executive, car, house in Banana Estate. You? Still stuck in the same assistant manager job? What happened to the big dreams you used to talk about?" And when he tried to defend himself, "You're too sensitive." She'd roll her eyes. "Real men don't complain. Maybe you should grow a backbone instead of always sulking like a child." The worst was when she humiliated him in front of others. At a dinner with friends, when Tom shared an idea about starting a side business, Stacy had laughed loudly, cutting him off mid-sentence. "Business? You can barely manage your salary? And you want to run a business? Please, Tom, don't embarrass me." Everyone laughed. He smiled too, just to mask the hurt. Tom didn't have bruises on his skin, but his soul was bruised daily. He wasn't beaten with fists, but with comparisons, contempt, and control. In a world that expected him to man up and stay silent, his pain had become invisible. The sermon that broke Tom. Pastor Luke stood tall behind the pulpit, voice booming. "A godly man doesn't walk away from difficulty. He stays, he prays, he endures. The cross wasn't comfortable, yet Christ bore it. And so must you, dear husband." The congregation chorused, "Amen." Tom nodded slowly, hesitantly, the words landing like weights on his shoulders. Pastor Luke continued, "No matter how a woman behaves, a man must lead with love and silence. Even if she dishonors you, you cover her. You protect her reputation. That's leadership. That's Christ-likeness." Stacy leaned closer and whispered, "You hear that, right?" He forced a smile. Inside, something cracked. But what if she never changes? What if the longer I stay silent, the more I lose myself? Is this what God really wants? He looked around the church. Married men nodding in approval, women smiling with pride. Nobody talked about suffering in reverse. Nobody asked how a man felt in a toxic marriage. Only that he remained. Only that he didn't leave. The prayer session. After service, the pastor called all married men to the altar for a special prayer. They stood, hands lifted. Stacy remained seated, expression smug. "Lord, strengthen our men to carry the burdens of the home," Pastor Luke prayed. "Let them not be weak in the face of stormy women. Let them be as Jesus, unmovable. Let no man abandon his wife. Let no man fail his post." Tears filled Tom's eyes, but not from comfort, from shame, from confusion, from the fear that if he stayed, he'd lose himself entirely. But if he left, he'd lose his church, his respect, his identity. On the ride home, in the car, Stacy smirked and said, "Finally, they're preaching truth again. You men have it easy and still complain." Tom gripped the steering wheel tighter. He wanted to scream, to cry, to defend himself, but all he said was, "Yes, dear." And deep inside, the silence began to rot. He internalized these teachings deeply. So when Stacy shouted at him in public or belittled him in private, Tom thought, maybe I'm just not patient enough. God is testing me. If I love her more, she will change. And when he tried to seek counsel from church leaders, he heard, "You're the head. Don't let the devil use her to break your home. Be more romantic. Buy her gifts. She'll respect you more." No one believed he was the victim.
Sometimes the loudest voices aren't even our own. They come from sermons, traditions, and childhood memories. But healing begins when we question the echoes and choose truth over silence. Growth over guilt. Love that frees over love that cages. The journey ahead won't be easy. But for Amara, for Tom, it's no longer about pleasing everyone. It's about finally listening to themselves. Thank you for watching. Like, share and subscribe to Grace and Grit TV for heartfelt, faith-based storytelling that inspires healing, hope, and meaningful conversations about love and relationships.